On Friday the 13th, 3 film students decided to go inside the walls and showcase just how realistic prison-themed television shows are, and to unveil the ugly truth. We met with various members of the prison community to get a background of how poor prison healthcare systems truly are and how employees are working to improve them.
It is the governing body of the prison, and we get reports from various stakeholders in the prison. First and foremost, we hear from the warden about the state of the prison. We hear from the deputy wardens. The Work Release Center is a vital part of our prisons.
All inmates around the United States, by virtue of the way the Constitution has been interpreted, are eligible for, and we're required, the country is required to provide medical care because they can't get it unless we provide it. So, they are eligible for the same range of services that you or your parents would have if they had a good commercial insurance plan. And the only difference is they get it faster here. So we provide a tremendous amount of care. Now, there are many jurisdictions around the country where that's not the case. So the average amount of expenditure per inmate year for medical care in the United States ranges from $2,000 to $20,000. We're at about 10. So, and we're at the forefront, one of the best institutions, I think, in the country. We're publishing stuff about innovations that we're doing, and we just got the American College of Physicians Award, Public Health Award this year for the work that we're doing on the opioid crisis. So this place is pretty progressive as compared to a lot of, say, Mississippi, or Texas or wherever. But so there are plenty of jurisdictions that don't provide adequate care. We provide self-injury prevention, which is we're always looking for people who might want to hurt themselves, because suicide in jails and prisons is fairly common.
We do have slow days, and I know for myself, if we do have slow days, I'll go through the system. If there's little to do, I'll pass it on to my staff, and I'll let them chill out for the rest of the day. But it's rare, so when we do get those moments, I just let them have it, because it's not often.
And we found, I remember learning when I was a probation social worker, they told us, this was years ago, a lot of the bad stuff happens after school. So that's when the kids get in trouble. Well, same thing here. During the 3 to 11 shift, the fights break out, all the stuff happens, the drama happens in the street. That's when you're going out and you're getting yourself arrested. So we could have slow moments. Suddenly, 5 guys get into a fight, and they all have to come down to mental health to go through some short process to clear them, to see if they're stable enough to go to be in the hole, in segregation. So slow moment to overwhelming moment quickly. That happens a lot in the mental health side.
Actually, I only did 2 days at the prison during my clinical experience. So we were there Wednesday and Thursday night from 5 to 10. And what we did when we got there, our first hour, we did a session with some of the patients who had more of psychiatric disabilities. So we did an hour of therapy with them. We did coloring, we did music therapy. We learned to and teach them American Tai Chi as well.
And then we do different assessments on different patients and some wound care, and we do a lot of education to different patients that are there.
We're enrolling people in medical assistance. Prior to last year, we didn't do that. Most people here didn't have insurance. Maybe 8% of the people coming through the front door didn't have it. This year, 60% on average have it, and we hope by the end of this year that almost everybody, 80% of the people that are here today have been here before. The average number of incarcerations you can see here is 6.5. If you're seriously mentally ill, it's 7.9. So these people are in and out. There are an awful lot of people that shouldn't be here, but there are some people that should, and the fact that the average number of aliases is 2.6 gives you a sense that there are some people that are up to no good. And someone asked me to come out here and help with some financial problems that they were having, because my degree is in economics. And I thought, I'll be out here for 6 months and hopefully straighten things out. But it's been such a wonderful opportunity to help people, because this is a very needy population, and it's a medically complicated population. So we've been chipping away at the things that keep people from getting good care, both inside and outside. So it's been wonderfully, this may be the best job that I've ever had. So all of a sudden it's 11 years and we're still doing great stuff.
You have your opinions on what a prison and inmates are like based on what Hollywood has depicted of them, but hear what employees and students just like you have to say about the reality of those prison-themed television shows.
For me, I watch Lockup.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Some of it is the same in certain situations, but it's not always that way. Like for me, like the inmate usually don't bother us. You know, sometimes they get upset that we're not giving them the specific medication that they want, or they want to be seen by this outside surgeon. Other than that, they usually have an issue with the officers. At the end of the day, you have to know we're still in jail, but we're still humans, and not all of them are all rowdy. And well, here they're not all rowdy and defensive and you know what you see on TV. Like these are people where they're just, and if you walk through the medical area, they're sitting down waiting to be served. You know, so it's not that bad.
I would agree. And the one thing that was striking to me, I'm gay, but I've always liked this field. And from the state prison work, it's the place where I found the least problem for resistance. Once in a blue moon, you might hear some young person say something stupid. So my best skills, if you haven't noticed, I've been told, can be my humor. So if I do rounds and someone says, "Hey, are you gay?" I go, "Why do you want to date?" And it shuts them up right away.
You say, why do you want to date?
Yeah. The only reason you'd be asking me that is if you're possibly interested. You know, that could never happen on the staff member. So I'll do it that way. Since it's something.
Well, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, so like a lot of people were voicing how like they were nervous. They've seen like all the prison shows and they wasn't really sure like what to expect. But I think my upbringing from my hometown where I'm from, I kind of was not really worried. I was actually really excited to kind of see how nursing takes its part into the prison system because I have heard that you know it's not very great health care in certain prison areas and that they don't really have the resources to provide the health care. So I was really more interested in seeing how that played a role.
I was really excited because I felt like I was going to learn a lot and see like a different side of nursing.
The answer to not having good access to care for citizens that are working is not to decrease the quality of care for inmates, it's to improve the access to care for the community. So I understand their frustrations.
Healthcare is defined as what's inside the walls, but Philadelphia is standing up and saying that doesn't work for us, because once they leave, so does their access to proper care. With proper care, inmates will be less likely to return to prison, and the crime rate and drug overdose will decrease. Here's exactly how Philadelphia is planning to bring this to life.
Our medication budget here is $11 million. 70% of that's for HIV. We have two what we call medication-assisted treatment programs, MAT. One is people that are on methadone maintenance programs in the community. We'll maintain them here, and about 2,200 or so were maintained last year out of our 6,000 opioid addicted individuals. If you need something after 3 o'clock, we have stock medicines, big jars full of medicines, so that there's no delay. And giving Narcan kits, nasal spray kits, to all the opioid addicted individuals when they leave. That's 6,000 people. We're hopeful to get a way of funding.
No, you could never.
And you are, like you reminded me, we're always monitored. Like, not because it's a bad thing, but they need to know everything we're doing. And go ahead.
But if you get to the point where you're forgetting that you're in jail, that's a problem.
That is a problem, yeah, totally
That's
a problem. You
because
can get too comfortable.
You're too comfortable. At the end of the day, we're in a jail, and if you let your guard down, an inmate could do something that you're not even expecting. For us in medical, you forget you're in jail, but I have a scissor right here that an inmate gets and walks away with. Who knows what happens to that scissor or where it ends up? If we can't find it, they have to shut the whole jail down to search the inmates that came in the area. Let's just say 100 inmates came in on day shift. They have to check every single one to figure out who has a scissor. So you can never forget that you're in jail.
So of our 28,000 admissions, 8,000 individuals were put on nationally recognized medical management detoxification protocols last year. They're seen 3 times a day. They get medications to palliate the very unpleasant and sometimes life-threatening withdrawal symptoms. The infection rate for HIV in Philadelphia is 1.26 or something like that, and the infection rate here is slightly over 3%. So last year we treated 1,000 individuals for HIV. 17% of the population here is seriously mentally ill, meaning schizophrenic, bipolar, major depression, borderline personality. 38% of the population is on medications for behavioral health issues. 28% have some significant physical illness like diabetes, hypertension, seizure disorders related to drug abuse. 80% of the people here have a substance use disorder. So the comorbidities here are quite substantial. It's a difficult population to address.
You got a bird's eye view of what goes on inside the walls. You're officially locked in and about to witness an untold story of a prison riot from 2009.
It was different because I wasn't sure what to expect. So I believe they called like a full response. So that's when all hands on deck. All the officers have to like lock everything down and report to that area. So you don't know what's going on. And then they called the full response, and then minutes or seconds later they called attention, a stretcher is needed, or medical is needed in the area. So we were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So we get there, and everybody is like on the ground. What is it called?
Well, the sort of zip tie thing. those plastic
Everyone
zip,
had
you
the
know,
zip
yeah.
tie
Those
thing.
handcuffs,
And
makeshift
you had
handcuffs.
people with blood on their heads. These are inmates now. I guess by any means necessary to get them into, get them in
Yeah, to contain the area and keep it in control.
So, we had people that we had to send out
To a regular hospital.
to a regular hospital because whatever injuries they had, we could not manage here. But that was the first riot I've ever experienced, and we haven't had one since.
I might have been on vacation then.
Thank you, Robert Frumhold and Patrick Curran, for your bravery and dedication during the riot on May 31st, 1973. May we always remember your heroic act.